Thank you for joining us this evening on the program World of Art on OGTV. This is where we bring you experienced artists, and together we take a close look at the various branches of visual arts and how it affects our everyday lives. My name is Miriam Usman. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillong, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shillong Museum of Art, and the grand patron, SNA Ogun State Chapter. The program continues after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you just tune in, it is World of Art on OGTV. Now, let me take you through some of our introduction on the program today, and after which I will be introducing our guests on the program. Textile art is an art that uses various materials and fibers to produce decorative artistic objects. It is one of the oldest forms of art in history and has played a part in practical and decorative man-made objects for hundreds of years. Well, no doubt we are taking a close look at the textile industry again on the program today, and I am being joined by Akinyemi Dolamu on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as a textile man, I want to say you are representing what you do. I mean, from your head, you have your fila and your adire.
Exactly.
So let's talk about your industry. We've had a lot of your colleagues who have taken us through the adire, the tie and dye aspect of textile. But you have this different version or different niche of textile. So take us through what you do.
Well, basically, textile design comes in two basic forms. It's either structural designs or surface designs. The surface design has to do with application of color on the surface of the fabric, while the structural design is building the design into the structures of the fabric, which manifests in form of weaving, either weaving of ashoke or decorative items like the tapestry wall hangings that serve as tapestry. And this very item I'm holding belongs to the class of structural designs, and this is coiled basketry.
Coiled basketry.
Coiled. You look at the structure, you see it's a form of a coil. So it's a form of basketry, but here it's a fiber craft in which we make use of fibers, pliable fibers that can be bounded together and structured together as it is. And you have it in different forms. Like the one I'm holding can be used as a tumbler lid in place of the plastic or the wooden ones that was popular before. And the craft is almost dying out because with times people no longer, our youth of today don't want to venture into crafts. They don't see it. They want something that will bring fast money quickly. But for this craft not to die totally, I come in contact with some colleagues, professional colleagues, who, when we brainstorm together on how do we do it, that this craft will not go into extinct. So we developed the idea that we should start reintroducing it in our schools. And that is basically what I'm doing with my students presently.
I like the idea of reintroducing this into the system. You know, art is not just about the red cloth or the painting and drawing. And particularly, I'm trying to objectify this thing you have here. Aside having it for the, what did you call it again?
Tumbler lid.
Yeah, I think it's something one can even fix as an earring, and it fits very well for fashion.
Exactly. You can, depending on the type of material used. Like here, we have the filling here is basically the cotton twine, which is, has some weight. If raffia thread has been used, that will be lighter. It can comfortably hang.
Oh, this is heavy for earrings.
This is heavy. This material, as it is heavy for. That's my conclusion about it. But whereby raffia thread is used for the filling and the,
it becomes lighter.
It will become lighter, and it can serve other accessories, fashion accessories.
We even have some of your works here. So I also think they fit in perfectly for decorative items. Do you use them for?
Yes, like the two there, beneath there, are confectionery bowls that you put on the tables to serve guests. Confectionaries like sweets, cola nuts, and other things.
Yes.
While the wider one up there are table mats. Now you place on the table, you place your food on it.
How long does it take to make one? For instance, this particular one, how long does it take to make one of it?
It doesn't take much time. Like you can have a set of 4 produced within a day. Set of 4 table mats produced within a day.
This particular part of art, this craft, is it taught in school? Is it still practiced?
It's not. That's what bring it. We are trying to bring it back now, because I know out there in many schools, people feel, how much will they make out of this? But we want something that one can use for recreation. When you are relaxing, you can just pick your fibers and begin to bind it.
So this serves as recreational purpose
yes.
too?
You can just be playing with it, and at the end of the day, you are coming up with an object that will serve utilitarian purposes in the environment.
Okay, I guess I'll have to ask this question now. Is there any gender, speculations about this particular craft? Because I know it to be a typical feminine craft, but you are here today telling us about it. You've been into it for years, and you're a man. So there are people watching you right now.
I will not say it's restricted to a particular gender. Craft is one of the cultural industries in this part of the world that people engage in at their leisure time. Probably the traditional setting, the man is a farmer, he has gone to the farm in the morning, work. When he comes back home in the evening, he came back with some materials, maybe some palm fronds and other things. He wants to make baskets with it within the household. So things, crafts like this are done on leisure basis. So it's not restricted to any particular gender. If the youths of today consider it fit enough, the time they wasted on internet, surfing the net, they can use it creatively and productively, doing things like this.
So you do believe that this requires creativity to bring it more into the limelight?
Yes, because in the past, what they were doing with this craft was basically containers. When they used the fiber, the raffia fiber, to produce these items, they use it basically as containers, some with lid cover on top. Like you have this bag here. So this side bag, was a development, somebody who was taught this, felt if he has two of these by side, he can
make a bag.
Make it, turn it to bag. Just as you are suggesting that it can be used as a fashion accessory too. So what we are doing in school is teaching the basic skills, then allow the students to develop innovative adaptation of the skills into creating items that will be acceptable in the society.
So presently in tertiary institution, this particular craft is being taught in the arts department?
I can only speak for the institution that I work with. It's there in the MBT curriculum, that's the National Board of Technical Education curriculum, that maths should be taught. Maths of different types should be taught at a level in tertiary technology that I'm into. But what people do with the skills thereafter is their own choice.
Okay, taking a close look at this picture, for instance, how do you form the coils in it? Because this is, you called it a 5.
You know, this fiber, the filling, you just pick the twines, like 4 strands of the twine, and begin to wrap this. I can't lose this now because I don't have what to do it later. But if let me try to open it up. You see that it's basically strands of
okay.
What we have here is just mass of twine that was banded together, closely banded together with this fiber, with this baby wool. So just wrap it around it continuously.
So the one inside is thicker than the one outside?
Yes, the one inside is thicker. And that's why I was saying that if you use raffia thread inside, as we have 4 strands of this thick twine inside here, if it were to be raffia thread, the weight will not be this heavy. And by the time we wrap it and use other colors with it, you can even form letters on it. Maybe initials of the person who wants to use it as a fashion accessory. Earrings.
Okay, so for one who would want to participate in this or learn this particular skill, how long does it take one to learn this, and where can one go to?
Like, this skill is available in art institutions, institutions where art is being taught, and I think I've realized that complaint of many was that art is expensive to learn because it involves the purchase of materials from time to time. And there's no way you can learn art without spending money, because you use material and you exhaust it. You cannot recover it back. Like the materials used here cannot be reused again.
That's
so
right.
You use it and you have used it. So because the materials are exhaustive, they are not recoverable again. That's why it's expensive. But talking about the cost of art materials, it boils down to what we have in the case of having to bring in the materials for the teaching of these students.
Okay, you did mention that textile art is of 2 phases, and then this is just a part of it.
And this is just an integral part of structural design.
So let's talk about the other parts which you also have ideas on.
Okay, I was talking about the surface design, wherein we apply dyes on top of plain fabric Like what I'm wearing here is primarily white fabric. After restricting some parts of it, the fabric was dipped into dye pit. Before when it's brought out, you have the colors appearing on it. And the material used for this one traditionally is called natural indigo dye. Natural indigo dye is sourced from plants, from indigofera plants.
That's the exact plant you have here?
Yes, it is the plant, the processed version of the natural indigo dye, indigo leaves is this. This one has been processed halfway. It's now left for the dyer to gather bulk of this. And
so when you talk about processing, what does it mean? Does it exclude picking this leaf from the farm? And
processing entails going to the farm to pick the leaves, especially the young ones that are not more than 5 days old on the plant.
How do you know?
You will know because as you are cutting the leaf, you will see that juice will be coming out of it. And if you rub it on your palm, by the time you are exposed it to air, within minutes, you just see that your hand will turn blue. So those younger leaves have that potential, the required indigo dye. So after taking it to the processing centers, like when I visited Abeokuta, where these were produced and shipped to Abeokuta for the dyers to buy, I realized that when they get it to the processing centers, the instrument they use there is basically a mortar. They put the leaves inside the mortar and pound it. After pounding it, they scoop it out and roll it within their hands into this, mold it into these balls and put it inside the sun to dry. Once it's dry, it's finished. The process is finished there. At that stage, you have the indigo leaf balls ready.
But this particular leaves is not found everywhere.
It's everywhere. The problem now is that because the practitioners of old in this part of the country did not allow their children to know the nitty-gritty of this, they have died, they have gone with the skills. So up in Okeogun, areas of Oasis of Oyo State, where these leaves are being processed and brought down here to Abeokuta for the dyers to use. There, those people who engage in it are also getting old. They are older people, old women that you see doing this. You don't find the youth in the area. So when I saw that problem, initially I was buying this item from there and bringing it down here. But in the course of my interaction with them at Okeogun, at Ipapo in particular, the research assistant I work with there took me to the field, to the farm where they used to go and pick the leaf and show it to me. When I come back to Abeokuta, and I realized so this leaf is, even where I build my house presently, the leaves are everywhere, and the leaves are being gradually cleared to give way for houses to be erected there. So that is creating problem. If care is not taken in the next 5-10 years, I'm afraid if the practitioners in Abeokuta will have a loop.
So you think there's need for more awareness on the usage of this particular plant and how to process and store them?
The solution to that envisaged problem is, the way I'm thinking is, conscious replanting of these plants.
Can it be replanted like this?
Yes, not like this. The fresh
one.
Plants. The people there told me that they cultivate it by cutting the stem of the plant and planting it the way cassava plant is being propagated on the farm. And that during their forefathers' days, they used to cut the stem and plant it. At a point in time, initially I tried planting it inside a flower pot and it survived in Abeokuta here. Before I realized that it's even growing in the wild. The old ones planted maybe 50, 60 years ago are now growing in the wild because nobody tended them again. Nobody look after them. They are just there. Every year, the owners of the plot, we go there, clear the bush, fresh ones will still come up again. So what the ones I use now, the ones I used to process now, I always go to where bushes are just being cleared 2-3 weeks after fresh ones. They will be useful for this, will be available.
So what's the difference between an adire made with this indigo leaf and every other type?
The other dye is imported. The VAT dyes that you see used in that gives other colors, are synthetic dyes that are imported from maybe Germany or some foreign countries. And that is the reason why the materials keep going higher in terms of cost. Because items, the dyes and the chemicals are always imported. But this natural indigo dye that gives this traditional blue indigo color is available here. The input that is imported is minimal because we have the plants in abundance, but it's becoming expensive because it's very scarce. Nobody is processing it here in Abeokuta. They wait for traders who visit Ogtv.
Are you into processing it now?
I process it during my leisure time, during weekends when I'm.
And you sell it as?
Yes, I have some practitioners. I have a customer at Itabaimbo who is into this in natural indigo processing, and at Okejemo behind the around Shodeke there. I have customers that I supply every other week when I'm available, when I'm in town.
I'm looking at this as another source of fund for the practitioners and the artists.
In the past, the dyers themselves pick the leaves, process it by themselves because their parents did not show them how to do it, or because they feel it's time taking for them. They diverted their attention from that, and they want to go and buy ready-made ones from the market. So some traders who knows where they are being produced over there in Okeogun area of Oyo State, they will go there, buy the processed leaf balls, bring them here. Maybe by the time they buy it, they pack a set of a pack of 42 there at the rate of 400 or 500. By the time they bring it to Abeokuta, they start selling it 2,000 naira.
All right, we have to wrap up on the program right now, and just a way of wrapping up on the program and about all you've told us about your craft and the textile materials. What would you advise practitioners out there and possibly upcoming artists?
The practitioners should begin to look inward and should begin to interact with their senior colleagues because experience cannot be bought in the marketplace. You need these people's experience to leverage on so that you can forge ahead and create a niche for yourself out there in the marketplace.
Oh, that's pretty much straightforward, and I really hope those concerned will do more to preserve our culture. This is all we have, and we have to guide it with all that we have. When we wrap up, we also want to get your final words to your Society of Nigerian Artists Ogun State chapter and even to the sponsor of the program.
Well, to the sponsor of this program, I will say I'm very grateful for this opportunity being given to showcase my experience and my skill that I have labored for some time to acquire. And for the Society of Nigerian Artists, I will just tell my colleagues that they should be more active within the fold because the society relies more on them to function. Be more active within the society's programs and participate effectively.
Thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thanks.
Well, let's come to the end of World of Art this week on OGTV. We trust you've been able to gather one or two things for yourself. This is where we bring you art practitioners, and together we take a close look at how visual art affects our everyday lives. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of council, Yemisi Shillon Museum of Art, and of a grand patron, SNA Ogun State Chapter. My name is Miriam Usman. I see you next week. Bye for now.